Morning, Facebook. How are we? So, I put a post up yesterday. First of all, happy Easter. I hope everybody's had an amazing Easter. I've had a lush little weekend. Doing what most people do on Easter, I think, which is basically just sorting my house out. Throwing stuff away, fixing decking, all sorts of fun stuff. So I hope you've had a really lovely weekend. Back to it now today, Tuesday morning. Back on it. So, I posted up yesterday basically a question to see who needs help with some stuff, and I've been given a load of different questions that I'm going to try and answer over the course of the next few days. I'm going to do a few videos. So if you have got any questions that you want me to answer, just anything at all regarding, acquiring properties, whether it's purchases, whether it's rent to rent, whatever it is, just put it on the comments, find the post in this group and just put a question on and I will answer it for you. Today's question, which was from Mazola, was how do I get agents to work with me? Now, I'm going to make a couple of assumptions on this, Mazola, which is you're asking me about either rent to rent or like below market value type deals. How do you get agents to give you the deals? How do you get them to agree to price reductions, rent reductions, all those sorts of things, right? So I'm assuming that's what you're asking me. I'm guessing it probably is because that would make sense for this particular group. So I'm going to answer that. Now, the first thing with this is I need everybody to understand is that people buy from people. Relationships are actually one of the biggest triggers to being able to do business with people. And the other key thing is your resilience and your persistence. Okay. So one of the things that's noticeably different about me and the way that I do things and some of the students that I work with when they come to me and what they've been doing previously is that they forget that they need to give a relationship time to grow and they need to not take no for an answer in a gentle way. Obviously, we don't have to be arseholes about things, but most of the time, the first time you speak to an agent, most of the time, they're going to say no to you the first time. That's fairly standard. Okay, that happens to me. It happens to most people. Really, it's about the relationship that you then go on and build. Now, to build a good relationship with somebody, there's a few things you need to do. One, you need to stay in touch with them. You need to talk to them regularly. You need to identify how it is you can help them. Forget, sorry, I think I'm losing my voice. Forget coming at it from a place where you are just trying to make money and come at it from a place where you start to understand what it is they need help with and whether or not your service that you've got, your offering, the offers that you've got, whatever it might be, actually solves that problem for them. Because if it doesn't, you're not actually adding any value to their world. And when you don't add any value to their world, they're not going to want to work with you. So what you have to do in this business, in my experience, is actually ask your customer what they need. What do they actually want help with? What are they struggling with? What houses are they struggling to sell? They're not going to want to sell you the house that's going to fly off the market because they don't need your help with that. They're not going to want to rent you on a rent-to-rent basis a house that's already got a tenant going through referencing because they don't need you, right? What you have to understand is that with anything in sales, whether you're selling somebody a property service, whether you're selling someone a chair, whether you're selling someone a pen, it really doesn't matter. You cannot sell anything to anybody until you know what it is they want and you know what it is that your service does to fix the problem that they've got. Okay, so when you're talking about agents, Mazola, and you're saying, how do I get them to work with me? The first thing I would do is I would look internally at you and say, what is it that I bring to the table? What's the purpose of my business? And what does my business do to solve or fix a problem that they might have? Now, that might be that you can get them a quicker, morning, Lynn, how are you doing? It might be that you can get them a quicker purchase, i.e. you've got investors lined up and ready, already pre-checked, AML checked, etc. So you can actually put an offer on the table quicker than anybody else. That solves a problem. Maybe on a rent-to-rent basis, you are able to take on the property that is sticking on the market. For us in Milton Keynes and surrounding areas, we take on the really, really big properties that tend to stick. So like the 6-bedders and things like that, which are too big for a family really because they're too expensive. They work really well for us. The letting agents that we've got that work with that stock of housing, we fix a problem for them because we're able to take the house. They satisfy their client. they satisfy their need to make their commission, and we satisfy our clients and we satisfy our need to make commission. So everybody wins. The other thing really, Mazola, is that you really, really have to build relationships with these guys. Now, everybody that I've trained knows this story, but I'll share it with you guys. I've got a house in Milton Keynes, and the first time I rang the agent, he hung up on me and told me that rent-to-rent subletting is illegal, it cannot be done, hung up on me, basically laughed me out of the door, which is fine. At that point, I hadn't done a good enough job yet of explaining what my service was. I hadn't done a good enough job yet of helping him to understand how, by working with us and working in partnership with us, would actually help him, benefit him and his clients. And I hadn't done a good enough job of explaining, of getting him to know, like, and trust me. So every Tuesday at midday for 16 weeks, I called him. And on the 16th week, he agreed to let me come and see the house with him. And on the 16th week, we went to the viewing and I put my offer in and I got the house. Now, it took 16 weeks of me talking to him on a weekly basis to really do a good enough job of explaining why what we do actually adds value to what they do, and why it's a good choice for them to choose to work with us, and why they should give us the stock of houses. Now, we've got multiple houses through this particular agent now, but that was because I didn't take no for an answer. In a gentle way, obviously. You can't just harass these people. You can't, like, boot the door in and make them work with you. But what you can do is you can gently build up a relationship over time. So I would ring him on a weekly basis. And obviously this house was still on the market, so I knew they still needed a solution. So I just kept phoning him and doing a bit of a better job. Now we've got a really great relationship as the partners. You know, he actually brings new landlords into his portfolio of managed properties with us in mind as the tenant already. So we've got a great relationship with these guys, but it took time. The biggest mistake that I hear people saying is they've rung an agency, they said they don't do company lets, so they've never phoned them again. It's not that they don't do company lets, and it's not that they're saying no to you. It's they don't understand your service yet. They don't understand how you bring value to their world. And until you get good enough explaining that, you're not going to do business with agents. So the kind of lesson, and I'm going to round it off, what I would say to you, Mazola, is that you really need to work on a couple of things. One, understand what value you bring to the market. Understand what value you bring to your customer. When you understand how you help your customer, then what happens is you can get really good at explaining it. But until you go back to basics and actually really think about the mission that your business is on, the service that you offer, what your values are as a business, who it is you're even helping, who are your customers, what do they need? Until you've done that activity, it's almost impossible to work out how to then sell your service to those people. So I would say go back a step. Think about what your purpose is as a business, who you are, what you do, why you do it, who you do it for, and how you help them. When you understand that, then just practice explaining it to people. And over time, you'll build the relationships, you'll start to win the business, and you will be working with agents sooner than you know. If you've got any other questions on that, if I can help anybody else with that particular topic, just put in your comments and I will make sure I come back to you. I am going to go and make a cup of coffee now. So have an amazing day. First day back after the Easter break. I hope you're all refreshed and ready to go. I certainly am. I will speak to you guys later on. See you later. Bye.